Welcome to another episode of OpenBar. Once again, it's your boy Snoop, Fam First, aka Coach Cap, accompanied as always by Millz, aka Muscleup Millz, aka It's Just Millz, aka whatever he feels like making his Instagram name at the moment, and blessing us with a presence again for another dope topic. Oh, Millie Rock Millz. Sorry, I forgot. I forgot the most important one. And accompanied once again by the champion of all champions, Chi Illuminati, the Herbal Queen. So this episode, we bringing another topic y'all way. This one, I'm expecting a lot of feedback and comments, but we want to discuss muscle ups, like just muscle ups in general, the move, everything about it. So we're gonna go to our muscle up expert to kick this one off. Muscle up Millz. What's your thoughts on muscle ups in general? Let's start. The first question I'm gonna ask you: how necessary is that move in calisthenics?
Well, right now, like it's almost like a pull up. That's how common it is now. Like that's how big the movement. I wouldn't say that's how common it is, but that's how big the movement is in calisthenics. Muscle up, like, you know, you have a competition or any type of thing, or anybody in any calisthenic park, they're doing some type of muscle ups. You're going to see that the way you're going to see pull ups. You know.
So to follow up with that question, is there an expiration date on muscle ups? Because a lot of the older guys shy away from it, and the younger guys live by it. Like muscle up, like you said, I know people that do more muscle ups than pull ups. They can do 10 muscle ups, but they could only do 10, 15 pulls. And that makes no sense to me, but tomato. But do you think there's an age limit? Because there's dudes like TD, shout out to TD, the muscle up champ, he's like mid 40s, I believe. And he does them religiously. But there's some older guys that say, nah, I don't do that in the move no more. It's dangerous. My shoulder, my joints. So, do you think it's you get timed out with muscle ups?
The person itself.
The move, or yeah, both.
The person, the move, but the person themselves, maybe. You know, if you know, ligaments, injuries, or whatever the case, and you know they might just eliminate it. But overall, for both, I feel like no. I feel like it's actually going to grow more. We're going to see more muscle ups in everywhere.
What do you think, G?
I think like when you do them too prematurely, it could lead to injuries, and then also overdoing it, and then you just get tired of it, and you just feel like maybe. I feel like also too it's like more of a performance move. I don't think it's like people usually don't use muscle ups as a workout. Like it's like I'm gonna throw it in my workout to keep them in my arsenal. But you know, sometimes when you doing it as like a whole workout, it could lead to just an overuse injury.
But I want it to be expired. Yeah, stop doing it.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm gonna keep doing it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate muscle ups. That's my least favorite move. I don't like it from my own experiences, from other people's experiences. Like I know some people that to this day have never recovered from muscle up injuries. I've suffered muscle up injuries myself. I understand the importance of the move, especially as a reps and sets guy. Like that, for a reps and sets person, it is the elite move. You know, like that's the top tier. Yeah. You know, you can't consider yourself that dude if you can't do muscle ups. Yeah. But like I said, I look at a lot of. I study a lot. So the next thing I want to bring up is different type of muscle ups.
Oh yeah. There's levels to this.
I personally see different types. I can think of at least 10 different kind of muscle ups.
Right.
Which is crazy because they're all labeled the same. It's almost like a jump shot to me. You know, no one has the same form, but you know everyone calls it a muscle up. Like you know, I don't know too much detail on this. Maybe you can with your history with Harlem calisthenics, but I know there was a controversy about Incredibles and muscle ups. Like, what is the difference?
Yeah, they say like doing Incredibles is no momentum. It's just straight up.
Mm-hmm.
But with the swing and some people go over one arm at a time.
Okay, so
That's the difference.
anything without muscle up, without
The
momentum is labeled as an
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, like going straight up.
Yeah.
So like comp form,
Basically,
competition standard
yeah.
would be considered an incredible.
I think so.
Because that, just speaking on my fence, like I'm not throwing no shots, but that terminology never made it down to like Brooklyn and stuff. Like, when I heard it, that was just a completely uptown thing. I was just like, what the hell's an incredible? And that's actually the first time, like, it makes sense, I guess, because that's what I want to get into. When we do a muscle up competition, right? Like, not to say some people don't take the craft as serious as others, but if Millz does 10 muscle ups, no leg movement, no anything, and a person goes after you and they use their knees for all 10, did y'all just do the same thing?
Nah.
Some people will think like, I did 10, you did 10.
Yeah.
Just getting over the bar is a muscle up, but there's levels.
Exactly.
So what is your opinion, Millz, on momentum ups? That's what I like to call them, momentum ups.
I think those actually it's a good like beginnerish intermediate type of muscle up. Like when you wanna, for a beginner to master the muscle up, I would say use momentum ups. Master momentum ups
first.
Yeah, and then you work on it, getting it cleaner and cleaner. But
I guess it depends on how you first train them too, because sometimes people, depending on how they train them, their first one could be
squeaky,
straight up.
Yeah. Because all right, so I'm gonna ask you this: if someone comes up to you wanting to learn a muscle up, what is the prerequisite that you would give them? Like what strength
First
level?
of all, I feel like you would definitely have to be able to do like 15 pull-ups, like unbroken, for you to start doing a muscle up. Because if you just go straight out the gate, you can't even do 5 pull-ups, and then you try to just jerk your body over, you could end up with an injury in the long run. So you want to build that foundation of strength first.
What kind of pull-ups?
What you mean?
Some people.
Oh, like explode. Oh, okay.
Yeah, some people pull here, full ROM, half ROM, chest to bars. What kind of pull-ups would you recommend for someone trying to learn the muscle up?
At least bar hair, like collarbone. Right at your collarbone. Yeah, to get that explosive element into it. And then like after you have the 15, I feel like get on the bar, and maybe even kind of use your arms more. If you're a beginner, try to pull up with your arms closer, because I feel like when I go closer, I have a little bit more control than a wide muscle up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's more lat and chest.
Yeah, I say that the most important thing for learning a muscle up is you got to have some type of familiarity, like, of the movement in general. You have to have been practicing it. Like, you can't just be fresh and it just feel awkward to you. Like, you don't, like, I can't be teaching you everything from off the rip. Like, I think, I believe I actually have a post on my page where I was doing like a set. I was recording a set, and there was a dude, he was trying to do it or whatever while I was doing the set. And in the set, I'm like, he actually interrupted the set because I'm trying to do it in the time. He's like, yeah, how you do it? You do the momentum? And I'm like, yeah, you do. And then he ended up getting it. He said he barely never get it. He always get the, and then fall back down.
Technique kind of too.
Yeah. So, all right. So with that being said, like I said, the momentum ups to me, you see, in calisthenics, we have a bad habit of, like, I'm gonna use one of my big bros as an example. Jomo, Bartholomew. I think his name on Instagram is Jomo_God First. Jomo, when I met Jomo, I want to say 5, 6 years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jomo, but he was like 270. And, you know, we automatically give the big guy leeway. Like, all right, if we're doing 30 pulls, you do 20.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you know, we water you down.
Yeah.
And Jomo used to be like, what? I'm doing 30, you know? So his muscle ups, like me being exposed to his muscle ups, because he do clean muscle ups. He wasn't using his legs. He wasn't doing anything. And so now when someone 200 pounds, I can't do that move. I'm like, Jomo, pull up Jomo thing real quick. Look at Jomo. Look. Like I was wilding. So I personally think that we give the big guys, like a lot of the momentum ups I see the bigger guys doing, because you know they're bigger, so they think that's how they do it. But do you think that's a mental block, or do you think, like, you know, I'm gonna use Jomo example, we just think he's a freak of nature, like he's just an exception?
It creates a habit that's hard to break.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It
that.
does.
People end up getting stuck in that lane.
Yeah.
Because to combine this, sorry to cut you, to combine this, a lot of women do the momentum up too.
Yeah.
I rarely see
And
a strict muscle up from the woman standpoint. And I understand it's something that, you know, needs to be learned, it needs to be practiced.
I feel like that's the technique part, and I feel like when you clean it up, just more of a strength part, because you kind of got to strengthen your whole body. Like your core has to be strong for you to get that straight.
And another thing that goes hand in hand with the momentum ups, if like, I almost feel like, and to reassure that you got the muscle up, that go hand in hand with momentum, is the knee ups. The momentum with the knee, like, so it's up, bring the knee in, you should be, everything should be good, you know.
Turn the wrist.
Yup.
So let's talk about it from a competition standpoint. Both of you have won muscle up competitions before. So when it comes to a muscle up, did you?
Yeah.
Well, you both been in muscle up competitions. That's the safer thing to say. When it comes to competition, because we recently had a competition, I'm not going to say no names, but some people felt that their muscle ups were up to a standard that, you know, didn't fit our criteria. Like when we say strict muscle up, we want strict. That means no legs, you know, a barrier, both arms over at the same time, the whole nine. So I personally think certain athletes aren't honest enough with themselves. You know, they're naive to think that, you know, their level 1 or 2 muscle ups are the same as a level 5, level 6 muscle up, and it's just the pride that kicks in. But is this, like I said, when you do the muscle up, in my opinion, especially from a competition standpoint, it should look just like an up and down. Like I use people like TD as an example. Who else can I think of?
Should be only arm.
Yeah, it should just look like an elevated pull-up.
Everything else, everything else should just be stiff.
Because there's some guys overseas, like you see when we do the muscle up, we do it. I teach it in a 3-step thing. You pull, you turn, you push. Some people could just like literally just this, you know. And I've seen a lot of that overseas. To you, is that a muscle up, or is that just a pull up to your waist?
Or like an explosive ass pull up.
That's a muscle up.
So does the arm turning into the push up, is that what makes the move a muscle up, as opposed to some people that can just pull the bar? Or like some people don't even bend the arm, they just grab the bar and they just go like this. The arm doesn't bend at all. Is that a muscle up? It's impressive regardless. So this isn't me knocking that move, because that's amazing. But technically, in my opinion, that's just a pull up. You just kept going.
Word.
The muscle up includes a push up.
If you wasn't holding the bar,
I get you. I get what you're saying.
So
I would say I would say it's a muscle up, but it's on a top notch level.
Yeah.
Like
Different. You gotta give it
people-
another name at that point.
you know, you got the,
Yeah.
you know, you got the 2 point, 3 point. That's a 4 point line.
Yeah, that's a half court shot.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's fire. So, all right. Keeping on the topic of muscle ups and competition standard.
I'll tell you what's not a muscle up.
What? Oh, wait, hold on. We'll get there.
Yeah.
So muscle ups in competition standard, right? Do you feel that, like I said, the momentum ups, we've classified that as is acceptable if you're of a certain weight. If you're a big dude and that's how you do them, all right, we'll accept it. So should that be a behavior that we continue, or should we? Because like I said, I don't never want to knock anyone for hard work. You understand? Some people like that, they worked hard to get to that level.
Yeah.
I'm not the judge, jury, and executioner, but as the, like, you know, as a host, you know, you want to put certain things, but sometimes the game isn't even there yet.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Right.
like no, I'm gonna keep using TD as my example. His muscle ups are like tiers, like levels above some of the people that compete against him.
Yeah.
You know, so it's almost like, TD, if you wasn't in this competition, we might have let them rock.
Right.
But since you doing it like
Yeah.
that, nah, everybody's at that standard. And some people, that deters some people, that motivates some people. So do you think there should be leeway when it comes to muscle up competitions? Like the weight, like, you could get away with that because you 200 pounds, or...
Yeah, you definitely gotta do it. You kind of gotta go into details of it, like breaking it down, because you got some people that can do momentum. They add just a tad bit of momentum. Like someone like Shells, he got the cleanest muscle, and he'll get a little swing, but it'll look like he didn't use a swing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then you got some people where they over exaggerate the momentum. So it's like, it's too much with the knees, and so it depends. You literally kind of got to judge everyone.
Based on the person.
You know what I mean?
But I feel like if you make it just a Gorilla Glue standard, like y'all have to do this to be able to finish the comp, it'll make everybody, you know, get their muscle ups to that point. But, you know, a lot of people will have a lot more work to do, and there probably won't be as much muscle ups in competition, you know, until people get there. But I feel like based on
Like,
who it is, it should probably be, they should match people up based on how each other do muscle ups, because then you got people arguing, oh, his shouldn't have counted and mine's is cleaner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know what helps eliminate the momentum a lot is that barrier that they make a lot.
Yeah.
You can't swing too much
Yeah.
with that barrier there.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes it should kind of be like a weight class a little bit for muscle ups.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
if you just got an open competition of muscle ups, it look kind of crazy. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
For
140 versus
Yeah.
200.
yeah, come on.
That's
Yeah.
a whole bunch of things going over the bar. So here's the next topic when it comes to muscle ups: false grip muscle ups. This has been labeled as a cheat move per se. I personally, I have pros and cons about it, but the first question I'm gonna ask: what do you feel about? What is your opinion about false grip muscle ups? Because false grip muscle ups is, from when I started doing calisthenics like 6-7 years ago, that was the way. If you can't do a muscle up, you learn that first, and then you learn the regular way. Like that was almost part of the tutorial.
Yeah,
like, because
takes a
remember the
step
technical definition for those at home that don't know what the false grip is. False grip is when, let's say this arm is the bar, you're resting your wrist on the bar. So when you get above the bar, you're already in that push-up position. You're not transitioning like that. You're already there. So when you get to the top, you don't have to worry about that, because a lot of people struggle with this part, the transition to the push-up. The false grip eliminates that. You just get a certain height and you just push up. You're already in that push-up position from the bottom. So some people consider that, they use it as a teaching technique. Until you learn how to do this, just do this, because you're strengthening that forearm anyway. But some people just, that's the end all be all for them. You know, in my opinion, false grip gives you a cleaner muscle up. Like you're in more control. Like I see some people, everybody that I see do like a slow muscle up, do it from here. Like from the false grip position. They'll just, you know, sit there and go up slow. There's a few elite athletes that can do it from like a stand. I've even seen somebody do it on their fingers. But that's a whole nother topic. But what is your thought on false grip before we talk about it in competition? What is your opinion on false grip in general?
Well, I kind of feel like the way you said about the other muscle up, when the straight on one, like it's impressive, but that's not a muscle up, in my opinion. You know, because the ones that can do it really slow, like go all the way like that, that's, you know, I feel like they clearly can do a muscle up. If they can do all that, they could clearly do the regular muscle up. Boom, no problem. But the ones that doing the false grip that I don't like is that broken up muscle up. Like it's like, I don't like, that's not a muscle up to me. Like for a learner standpoint, and it's impressive because it's kind of like an ISO in a way. You holding it, and then, but just the end all be all, and you can get by for any nah.
What do you think about false grip?
I mean, I feel like false grip is exactly what it is. It's a false grip. You're not really gripping the bar at all. So it kind of puts it in its own category. It's not really a muscle up. It's just a different type. Just it's all wrist.
Yeah. So here's my opinion on it. I actually like it for training purposes. I hate it for competition. Like because and I'll use us as an example. The way we train, we're very form conscious, and I'm only speaking on Team Spartan behalf. So you know, everyone has their own different experience with this, but we train very intense. We train for hours, and you know that muscle up at hour 3. Get up there however the hell you can, because you're teaching the body to fight through fatigue, and you know it's almost like you're just get it up there how you can. Teach the body to just keep going. Don't give up, because a lot of people are like, up, that's my workout. I did my quota. We're trying to train at another level. So and then also, I personally think strengthening that wrist makes the other one easier. You know, because some people, like, let's say I tell you to do 20 muscle ups. You do 15 standard, and now about 16 you tired. So now 16 you gotta switch. Like, all right, let me get there. And like I said, there are some techniques to where, like I said, some people go from the ISO and up, like, you know, to build that forearm. Because I personally think the cleanest muscle ups that I personally have seen, aside from, like, you know, the legendary ones like Hannibal and Zeph, etc., come from static. Like the freestyle game. Because they focus so much on grip and stability and statics, their muscle ups are squeaky clean. You know, they do momentum ups too, because some of their moves, they need that momentum, because they're doing a muscle up into a flip, into a 360, so they need that. But I've seen, in my personal opinion, the average of freestylers, more freestylers could do a strict muscle up more than a reps and sets person. Like they're stricter. They just can't go long. Like we have the endurance. We could go for hours. They tap out quick because they just do quick, explosive, etc., etc.
I definitely agree with that, because while they're in the lever, they already got their body in that board.
Yeah, and they got chalk on their hands from their fingertips to their damn elbow. So everything for them is about
like
grip.
lotion.
Yeah, but just to, like, we can still learn from each other. You'll never see Snoop do a 360, but I will apply their discipline to getting my muscle ups stronger. Like, you know, I've reached out to freestylers for tips and pointers and etc. But when it comes to competition, my personal opinion, as a host of competitions, as a judge at competitions, I personally do not, like, I'll go with the pull-up. I remember one Pup J, you was at this Pup J, where you do a pull-up, some people will stop here, like, and just toss the chin, but it's like a pause.
Yeah.
And we like, nah, if you ain't going all the way up, it don't count.
Yeah.
The same thing should be applied with the muscle up, because a lot of people will do the muscle up, they'll stop there, okay, and get up there.
Or jump to the wrist.
It needs to be a continuous move, like this, like for training purposes, absolutely, but for competition, I think it should not be allowed.
It's like doing a burpee muscle up. You can't do the burpee jump and then take a breather and not get on the bar.
Yeah, it has to be.
It gotta be one. Yeah.
So now to False Grip's hated cousin, the cousin at the family barbecue that never gets no love, the chicken wing. What is your opinion on chicken wing muscle ups in a whole? Before we talk about it in a competition standpoint, what do you think about chicken wing muscle ups?
I used to feel like chicken wing muscle ups, like as far as with a beginnerish or like especially with like a super beginnerish trying to learn the muscle up, I used to feel like, yo, get it how you however. But now I feel like there's levels to the chicken wing. Like before like
so you remember in the restaurants where they got the little ones, but you go to Snyder Chicken and they got the big chicken wing.
Yeah, chicken wing with the hot sauce.
Yeah.
The one with the barbecue sauce.
I remember before, my chicken wing used to be crazy. Like, but I definitely would get up there and like. I call it putting the bar in the headlock. It's like you got the bar right here, and you just, it's like, no, we're not doing that no more. So, but if it's one of those quick ones, it's like for a beginnerish and you learning, or even like, if it's like a major set and it's towards the end of the set. And, you know, I'll give you that one. You know, you fighting for it to finish it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I feel like it's 3 levels. You got beginners do chicken wings. When you're fatigued, you convert to chicken wings. Or it could be that you have got injured before and that scar tissue or just that, you know, that arm does, because sometimes I experience that because I've got my shoulders hurt in the past, and sometimes that arm just don't come up at the same time, no matter how fresh I am. But it all comes with mobility too. You got to work on that so you don't hit that. But you could definitely hit the wall and chicken wing, or just not have the strength for both arms to go over.
Then you got not to mention the major level of chicken wing muscle up is the typewriter. You know
but you see that's a controlled move.
Yeah.
That's purposely.
Yeah.
You know, like when I speak about chicken wing, it's the people that you can tell that's all they got.
Yeah.
You understand? Like the typewriter, you're doing, like I'm about to do a typewriter. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna end up there, then I'm gonna go up. You're planning to do that. The chicken wing, they just trying to get up there. A lot of beginners I see do it. I'm gonna give 2 examples. I'm gonna say names because it's my teammates. I'm gonna talk about David. David was one of my original Spartans. Talented. Like, this guy was 210 pounds, moving. I maybe had 5 more reps than him when we used to train. If I'm doing 40, he's doing 35. And he had 60, 70 pounds on me. The muscle up move, he was starting to get there, but, you know, he would chicken wing a lot. He tore his shoulder so bad that he, to this day, hasn't recovered. He had that injury at least 5 years ago.
That's crazy.
So, you know, the chicken wing, and it's one of those moves where it's just like, it's not even worth it, you know? Like, it's like, damn, it makes you not want to do it, because I learned from his mistake. I'm like, if he got hurt like that, I don't like muscle ups anyway. I ain't doing them. But then I'm going to flip to the other end of the spectrum, Josh, my little brother. Joshua, when he started up in the camp, Joshua must have been about 19 maybe. Young boy. His chicken wing game was so elite. He would be at the bottom of the bar and the arm would be here. You see some people, they chicken wing from like the chest to bar standpoint. He would do it like the bar is here and one arm is there. Yeah, but
The headlock.
Dev times 10. Like, he can muscle up just off of one arm, and everyone would look at it like, ugh,
Yeah,
like
like,
that hurts.
how?
But you know, he's young. Not to say he got away with it because he's young, but an older dude doing that probably would have left that thing on the bar. Plus, he has, what's the thing you got when the elbow goes all
that
the
double
way in?
jointed.
He's double
Yeah.
jointed. So we just figured, all right, Josh, you got that.
Yeah.
But you know, he stuck with it because he's down with the craft and he learned how to do the regular ones. But his beginner ones, he would get up there by any means necessary. It looked like, you remember when you hold back in Mortal Kombat and Liu Kang would go for like, he would get up there like one arm just fight up there. So with the chicken wing, I try to the problem is, as a coach, I try not to discourage people. You understand? I've noticed a lot of people in calisthenics are sensitive about their work. You know? So the few people that allow me to critique them without them taking it to the heart, you know, I'll tell them, like, you know, you're a grown man or a grown woman. You're going to do whatever you want to do. I don't encourage you continuing this because I've seen the bad side to it. But in the same breath, you still got to teach your body to get over the bar.
Yeah.
You know? And like, for the people that are heavier in weight, like, to me, heavyweights chicken winging is more strenuous than the light guy, because like I said, that's a lot of weight being put on a joint, because a chicken wing essentially is one arm over the other. So that little, whether it's a split second or 3 seconds, that little time where all the tension is on one side can cause major damage. It's not just your muscles you're using your joints and your ligaments and all of that.
There was even a few times, me personally, where I was working out in the bar and I did a chicken wing, and I felt a different feeling. And off the feeling, I was like, I'm a fall back.
Like a little tweak.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use you as an example because, like I said, we're very transparent with each other, and I could talk to you about your form and you don't take offense to it. When you get fatigued, you chicken wing. But you do such a smooth chicken wing, it's kind of like my example of your fatigue muscle ups is like this is the standard muscle up, both over the same time. Yours is literally like that. It's literally like it's
blink,
slightly
if you blink, it's
over, but technically one arm got over before the other. So when we put this rule in effect of like no chicken wings in competition, I personally think it gets the most critique in the bar brawl, because if I tell you to do 25 muscle ups to end a routine, like you just did 200 dips, 500 this, and then you got to end a routine, you're trying to get up there, but it's very select few people that can do it controlled. And mind you, a lot of people that knock chicken wings use momentum. You know, and in my opinion, they're both fouls. It's just that we'll rather that foul than that foul. But in my mind, they're both flagrant. You know, like if we get rid of, we can't reward one, allow one, and not allow the other. We need to be uniform. Like, nah, neither one. So it's either we need to make the routines have less of them, or, you know, because like I said, I don't want to punish the hard workers, the ones that can do fatigue muscle ups when they're tired. Like, you know, we want to showcase that. We want to show people it's possible. But then, like I said, if the majority can't do it, and we're putting against a competition, and we're worried about how we look and how we presented, the move isn't worth it. You know?
That's definitely a major point, because you got some people that do the muscle up, that's what I was saying, the knee ups, where their knee is, it feel like their legs about to go over the bar. then the knee is like, like, oh man.
The CrossFit muscle.
And then you see the ref like 1, 2, and then you're looking around, they're counting that? You know,
The CrossFit muscle. So let's speak about the CrossFit muscle up. What do you think about that? Because the CrossFit muscle up is when, if you do a screenshot of it, they almost look like they're doing a lever. Like they look like the legs, the momentum. A classic muscle up to me, your arms are leading it. The CrossFit, it's your legs are leading the charge up. So it's a very common when you're fatigued.
Well, I say that not to cut you off, the knees, what I was talking about, where they're using the knees and the knees is touching the bar, then they get over.
No, I was like, kicking out, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
CrossFit, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The cross is that
Yeah.
whole dolphin.
But that's their pull up, but their muscle up is very like
Similar.
Yeah, like if shit, I don't even want to. I can't even think of anyone, but maybe in the edit I'll like add an example from a CrossFitter. But like the way it works is like it's literally like so much hip drive that the upper body is the last thing to get over the bar, if that makes sense. Like it looks so crazy to me. Like that's not even a calisthenic move.
Not at all.
But like I said, we go off of strict definitions. Like the muscle up by definition is you getting over the bar using your arms. Like however you get over the bar using your arms, that's a muscle up. We understand that there's levels. Some people, because sometimes some people get over the bar, they do that reverse crap. Like, we don't consider that a muscle up, but we consider that, you getting over the bar.
Yeah.
But in a forward fashion, getting over the bar, we consider a muscle up. Some people need knees, some people need mad momentum. Yeah. Some people need a running start. Like to get a super swing to get over there. Some people can just do it on their arms. Some people rely on the wrist. So there's so many levels to it.
Yeah.
And there's so much like forms of training and like personal preference. Like I said, I'm a type of person, I like that straight up and down look. I like the strictness.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like muscle ups, but when I do them, I like to value myself on strict.
Yeah.
And let's talk about this now too. Lockout on the muscle.
Oh, that's a major comic mistake all the time. Like I've done seen it in several bar brawls and muscle up competitions where the ref are literally screaming lock out, and they're just
they're
it's
stuck in like
out.
the 90s.
Yeah, and it's like, do they understand what a lockout means? Like, you don't want to disrespect them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a lot of people fail to do the full boom. And to be honest, the lockout might help you clean it up.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you coming all the way down, boom, and then you going all the way back up. You using all that momentum that guides you right back up. If you do it with that and you're not locking out, that's why you're doing it like that. But you ain't got no momentum.
But think about the logic of it. It's easier to pull up from here than from here. To get over the bar.
Yeah.
And I personally think.
Yeah, when you get fatigued.
Yeah, because I do it too. Like I said, this isn't me talking down on anybody. You tell me all the time, Snoop, lock out. When I get tired, especially my first muscle up, for some reason, like wherever I grab the bar, that's where I'm going up. The second one, I got you. Once I'm at the top to the bottom, I got you. But that first one, we right here with it, bro. I don't got that right now.
Jump up right
You gonna take what I got? Feel me?
Yeah.
So
even me, I feel like I noticed that mistake sometimes. Like very rare people don't get on the bar and just come like this, and once you allow do the
the gather,
and then go
I'm the gather king. Bro. I remember one day, funny story. I was at a session with Zeph one day, right? And I used to, every time I get on the bar, I call it the gather or the giddy up.
Yeah.
You get on the bar, you grab it, and then you do like a mini thing, and then you go up. So he just looked at me one day like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, doing what? I'm doing the muscle ups, ain't like you, bro. He's like, stop doing that little gather thing. I'm like, what gather thing? So he literally, he told me go on the bar, because what I used to do, let's say I would step, let's say this is the bar, I would take 2 steps from it and jump from there. So I'm jumping into a swing.
Yep.
He would be like, nah, go directly into the bar, grab the bar, and do a muscle up. And then I did it, and I did a little giddy up. He said, stop stop doing that. And I'm like, what? Then they showed me the footage. I'm like, oh, snap. Because like I said, I personally think, I'm not trying to downplay anyone's intelligence, but some people aren't aware of these little things that they're doing. Because I would, like, after that day, I rewatched about 2 years of footage. Like, I've been doing this forever. I never even knew I was doing that. And then now consciously, I like, if I do it, I yell at y'all. Why you let me do that, bro? I'm trying not to do that no more. So I personally think like some people aren't aware of their bad habits. Like some people, you tell them to lock out, but like some people don't know they're not locking out unless they look in the mirror.
Yeah.
There's times where I'm thinking I'm locking out, and then I watch the footage,
Right.
like, ugh, delete. Like that ain't going up.
Yeah.
So I just think it's people taking more like attention to the craft, to the like falling in love with the move. Because some people like mission accomplished, muscle up complete, but I'm not gonna master it. I've just learned how to do it. I do what I do on my knees. I'm a big dude, so I could get away with that. As long as I could get over the bar, I'm down with the muscle up crew, and not recognizing that there's tiers, there's levels to this muscle up game. So overall, I want to ask both of you, do you feel muscle ups have a place in competition? With all that being said. Start with you.
Yeah, I think so. But are you saying like one kind? Like should it be like one
standard
type of muscle up only in competition, or are you saying just period? Like muscle ups could be in competition, but it just have to be spoken about, like, hey, okay, this is what we're gonna allow.
What we're looking for,
yeah, because you see the thing about calisthenics, like I explained in the other podcast, it's a culture. So this crew might do muscle ups like this. Like different people have different styles. But when you come to a competition, you're all agreeing to my standard.
Right.
If you're doing my comp, you're agreeing to do my standard.
Yeah.
So when we set that standard, should we like be gracious to other styles, or should we just pick the most uniform one? Because like I said, some people train strict, so when they come to the competition, it ain't nothing but a word. I do this every day.
Yeah.
But some people so used to the momentum, like if I put a box in front of you, they're like, whoa, nah, bro, I need to get all the way out there before I get up. Nah, this comp is biased. Like, you know, it's a problem. So I personally, I'll start with the answer. I personally don't like muscle ups in competitions. Because I've never seen one go smooth yet. But then in the same breath, it's such an elite move that I would love for it to be not such an argumentative topic anymore. Because even though I don't like the move, I love seeing it. When you see a clean muscle up, you go, yeah.
I know, right?
That's nice. You know, like, yeah.
I'll say, I got my answer. I'll say, because I remember saying this to a few people on the last competition. I think the barrier, I don't really like it. With the muscle up competition, I don't like the barrier, and I feel like they making it too strict to the point where I don't even want to see it no more. It's like it's pointless. I feel though, let them like rock, but give them a standard where it's not OD. But I want to see it last. Let's see who could go 8 rounds of this. You know what I mean? They're gonna chicken wing after a while.
Yeah, it's
you know what I'm
gonna
saying?
be a lot.
That I want to see, but this 60 seconds super strict. I'm over it, to be honest.
But we still have to protect our athletes, though. You know, we don't want to, as a competition, you don't want to put people in a risk of injury. Because momentum, adrenaline, like, you don't want to lose.
Yeah.
So, like,
whatever they have to get up
that's
there.
like a fighter.
Yeah,
like,
you do whatever.
You shouldn't be fighting right now. Your eye bleeding, but you so into it. Nah, don't throw in the towel.
Yeah,
Let me get
corner
this
throwing
dude.
the towel. He not throwing in the towel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you could be chicken winging, but like you ready to go, and then it's just kind of like, was it really worth it?
Yeah, I get what
when
you're saying.
It's real hard. It's
Because like I said,
hard to
my biggest thing with this too, because I have these conversations, is longevity. I've seen people in their 60s and 70s that still do this. Like every other sport, like you see football, a running back, what's their shelf life? A running back shelf life is like, what, 31? 32? You're not valuable in the NFL no more above 32.
Yeah.
Basketball, once you get, only certain people survive in the high 30s.
Yeah.
I think the oldest person in the NBA at one point was like Vince Carter, and he was like 40 or 41. You know, like all these other sports have expiration dates. Like with calisthenics, we've kind of shown that you can this can go into your old age. We're almost like golf. Golf is the only sport that got like 80-year-olds. We can do that, and it's more valuable. I see some 60-year-olds more defined than me, still doing muscle ups and push-ups and pull-ups and stuff. So, you know, I personally think to protect the athletes, I would get away from muscle ups because, like, you know, adrenaline plays a role. People just want to go in, especially when people are cheering for you. You going against somebody that you really want to beat them.
Gotcha.
So it's any means necessary. But, you know, like I said, I personally think if the form improves overall, I would love to see it. Like, if we had more people that took the move seriously, like, let me master this, than just checking it off the checklist.
Or instead of... The only way I say it could probably have a spot now in competition is if it's not how many you do, but who's the cleanest. Like, let's have a who's the clean. You know what I'm saying? Like do one at a time. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm gonna give this example. There was a bar brawl where one person was doing dirty muscle ups, the other was doing clean, and as an athlete, this bothered me. It wasn't that, because the athlete is only doing what the referee allows him to do. But what bothered me was the crowd and the coaches. Yo, you doing it too clean. Do the dirty ones. They doing it, so you do it too. So I'm like, yo, you're about to downplay what you do just for this competition's sake. You know, and if the referee was checking that person, like, the fact that this person is doing it that clean shouldn't be a penalty. Because now we're teaching people to, if you want to win competition, find shortcuts. Do it dirty. Instead of honing the craft and us rewarding the person that, like, yo, like, you're strong, bro. How are your muscle ups that clean? Like I'll use this example. Shredder versus abs. They had a bar brawl in 2017, maybe.
Nah, it was older than that.
2016, 2017.
Maybe 2017, yeah.
2016.
Okay.
Because my bar brawl, I did bar brawl 4, and that was in 2017. They were bar brawl 2. Because remember, we number them. So theirs was like late 2016. Their bar brawl was literally 70 muscle ups. That was the routine.
70?
Who could do 70 muscle ups first? So, you know, they jumped out the gate. They did little 5s and 10s. It's a marathon. I ain't about to jump out and max out. But, like, at the end, like, you know, Shredder ended up winning that battle. It was one of the best bar brawls in history. And he still, like, you know, the knees would come up, but it was completely understood. Like, dude, we actually do 70 muscle ups.
Yeah, word.
But he's still getting up there. In my opinion, we still know what acceptable form is, respectable form is with fatigue factor. Because we're all athletes. We're not just critics that never did the sport critiquing people. We're people that share this passion with you. So his muscle ups was still all arms over. So I took that as, yo, I know me at that moment in time, I probably would have been chicken winging from like the 10th. You know, but that day I took away like, yo, it's possible to do them clean. So I got into the habit of, as soon as I feel like one of them, yo, get off the bar. It ain't even worth it. If it ain't clean, it ain't nothing. And like I said, abs at the point, abs is one of the fastest muscle up person. Abs McBean, his muscle ups, like he's a speed demon. And at the end, he started chicken wing. But you know, he's so thing with the craft. He wasn't arguing with the refs. Nah, he like, yo, you're right. I was chicken wing. I was tired, bro. I just did 67 muscle ups. He picked up Shredder hand. Yo, shout out to Shredder. Like, you know, that was the stuff where I'm like, all right, muscle ups got hope. But like I said, it comes down to your character, how you look at the craft, and you know, just how much time you put into the move.
So that's what I'll come to ask you next. Do you say you keep the same mindset with what you just said about muscle ups with competition, with bar brawls, like protecting the athlete, so to speak?
Yes, because you see, the thing about the bar brawl, it's in the name. It's a brawl.
Yeah.
So we're not asking for perfect form, but still, like, the bar brawl isn't like, competitions are whoever wants to do it, come through. It's open invite. Bar brawls are like, yo, you've been putting in work. You've been putting in work.
Got you.
It's an invite elite thing. Of course, some people ask, but we've turned people down. Like, no disrespect, you're not ready. You know, like, but you can show me, you can prove yourself. But I personally don't think you're ready. So some people, like, you know, when you go into the bar brawl, we still try to cater to strengths and weaknesses. But like, when it comes to form, especially with the muscle up, the routines that we're asking of them, legit is just like, like, bro, try your best, bro. Like, get up there how you can, but still keep it.
Yeah.
Keep it to a thing because you, like I said, you don't want to be a victim of the critique.
Yeah.
You still want your hard work to be rewarded. You don't like she like that shouldn't shouldn't have won because look at her form. You still want to put up something respectable. But it's hard, man. It's hard because like that's why I encourage these like people like TD, like setting that standard of this is my form. Because here's another example. I don't mean to put his business out there. TD did a battle against Rascal. Rascal represents the Barbarian family. That battle was heavy on the muscle up because they both are known for clean muscle ups.
Muscle ups and pulls.
I use this as an example. And me and you talk about this all the time. We have plan A muscle ups, plan B muscle ups, plan C muscle ups. My A is the strictest I got for you. That's the cleanest I could give you. My plan B, it ain't as clean as this, but it's respectable. Okay, that's okay. It ain't the cleanest. That's like my when I'm fatigued. And my plan C's is I'll get up there how I can.
By any means.
So I personally think in that battle kind of dragged because they both only had plan A's. They didn't even know how to do a dirty muscle up.
Yep.
People in the crowd are saying, yo, use your knees. And they're like, I can't. I don't know how to do that. I only know how to do strict. So that was probably the longest battle we've had. And, from an entertainment value, you started to lose the crowd. It's just,
right.
Like, I'm just watching this. So that's the downside to it. Because, like I said, I'm not knocking these gentlemen work ethic because they're more... They want the win the proper way. Like I don't even want to win if I got to do some dirty. If it ain't clean, I don't want it. If this takes us 40 minutes, it takes us 40 minutes.
They want the W to feel like a W.
Yeah, but like when as an event holder, when you put in these muscle ups, because like I said, it's not like you see with y'all two. I train y'all. I train with you. I coach you. I know your breaking points. I know when you're having a bad day. I know when you're having a good day. So I know how to push you. As an event holder, I'm just going off of what I see on your social media. What I think. All right, he's been in the game for 5 years, so he should be able to do this. Sometimes I get surprised. Sometimes I get disappointed. Like, damn, I thought you were stronger than that, bro. But, that just comes with the territory. So it's hard to...
Like, he's still posting. Yeah.
He's active, So it's such a learning process that unfortunately it's going to take us a lot more time to still get it right because the muscle up is so complex. Look, we've been talking about an hour about one move. That's how interesting this muscle up move is. So, final thoughts. In my opinion, the muscle up is the epitome of reps and sets. It's a very elite move. And a lot of people speak on it. When you achieve that muscle up, it's such a feeling like I made it. I did this. Right. Just being over the bar and looking on the horizon, it's like, wow, I did it. So it's a move that has, it's so beneficial, but in the same breath, it's so dangerous. Some people want it by any means necessary. It could risk their whole career. I know a lot of the older gentlemen say, nah, I'm cool. Leave that for the young boys. The young boys will just do that all day and forget about the rest of the moves, the basics. So I personally think there is a place for it, but it still takes time to get it where we want it to be. At this point right now, I do not think it's worth it. I do not think it's worth it in a bar brawl setting. If we do it in a 60 setting, I know you said you're not fond of the 60 seconds, but that's the best way we could control it. Because it's only 60 seconds. So if you do 9 or you do 15, we can control it. I'm not asking you to do a big number that you're going to risk injury. So that's just us trying to shelter it until it grows to a bigger platform. But to me personally, right now, I shy away from them.
Or even in the bar brawl, you could just do it with a low number, start it off or something like that, not these crazy, miraculous numbers, but I'll wrap it up with saying it's a thin line between a clean, crispy muscle up and finishing your whole calisthenic career and hurting yourself.
Yeah, I think everybody should just try to go towards making it as clean as possible. That should be everybody's goal. Clean as possible, safe as possible.
All right, y'all. So y'all just heard us ramble on for hours about the muscle up move, but like I said, this is a community podcast. We want to hear from you. I want to hear some of your stories, some of your good stories and your bad stories. As I always say, I'm always gonna say it. The after party is in the comments. So go in the comments, give us your stories, tag us and stuff. Let us know what your thoughts are on this topic, and also give us other stuff that you would like to hear us talk about. That's what this podcast is about. It's not just about the bar anymore. It's about the education of the bar, the stories of the bar, our experiences on the bar. So as always, I want to close the show with support the calisthenics movement. We have clothing lines, we have apparel, we have supplements, we have all these things. So visit, support calisthenics, because we will grow when we support each other. So on that note, Millz, Chi, very much thank y'all for talking with me about this. That's my sign out.
After
Snoop
party,
signing out.
comments.
OpenBar.
So,
Open bar.
Open bar.
Open bar.